So recently we did an exotic side table. We had someone ask me, can you do the same thing but in the shape of an arrowhead? Yes, we can. Now, I may not go with these exact colors, but I'm really inspired by the pattern and the way the colors go over the shape of the arrow. I've drawn out 2 or 3 different sketches, and I want to make the table as functional as possible. So I don't want it to be too narrow anywhere, because I want to be able to set things on it. And also I want to bring this a little more rounded, so it's pretty functional in a living room setting.
This is the one that I want to do. This is it right here.
All right, we'll compromise. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
It was 3. You lose.
No, I picked it.
No, I picked it.
No,
but I knew the
it
number
doesn't
was
matter.
3.
No, the number was 7. You said
no.
pick the number, and I picked 7.
But
and
that's
so
not
the number is
was
7.
3.
No, it wasn't.
You're wrong.
So I'm using a brad nailer, and it's an 18 gauge. They're 1.25 long. Not a lot of measuring, pretty easy to make. So now you'll be able to see what I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna take the flush trim bit and I'm gonna follow this whole piece all the way around. And then I'm gonna use the grinder. We're gonna grind that all off and make it look like an arrowhead. All right. It looks like an arrowhead, just like that. Check it out. The monster arrowhead. Now all we got to do is Bondo it, and then we'll come back and paint it and pour it. That's how you do it, old son. All right guys, so the Bondo has dried overnight and we're gonna come back and I'm just gonna hit it real quick with a 120 grit because right now we got a bunch of sharp edges on it. And just like that. We're going to use Stone Coat Epoxy white undercoat, and the reason why we use this is that you can paint and pour in the same day. I've already shook up the can. We finished painting. We're going to put the second coat probably in about 30-40 minutes because it's kind of cool outside, probably an hour after that. And we'll be ready to pour.
We have 2 coats of the white undercoat. It's dried and now I'm slightly sanding it just to give it a smooth surface. We're gonna also scuff this up so that we have a mechanical bond between our substrate and our epoxy. I like to start with my darkest color first and build layers so that the highs and the lows really start to show. So I'm gonna take some espresso and I'm just gonna hit these edges ever so often with some color. Now we're gonna layer, so I'm not really too worried about how dark it is at this point. Now what we'll do is we'll come in with lighter accent colors, and I'm just gonna lightly hit, just build in that color. So I know that the main colors are gonna be a little lighter than what my edges are. So now I wanna come in and I wanna lighten up the edge up around the top part of the surface so that I don't have such a hard contrast as it flows over. So I'm gonna come in with sand and I'm just gonna start blending those colors. And then I'm gonna come back in with heirloom white and do the same thing. So the reason we're gonna tape the edges is the technique that I'm gonna do is an exotic pour, we like to call it. It requires quite a bit more material, and I don't want all of that material to be poured on the surface and then immediately run off. Now it's a little tricky to tape a rock edge. So you really want to bring your fingers in and make sure that you're getting all those little nooks and crannies. So you'll want to stop your drill, and then I like to scrape the edges. So the reason I do that is to get the material that's on the sides that's not mixed. I get it into the mixture, turn the drill back on, and get it all mixed up. All right, so we're gonna do a dirty pour. So I'm gonna be mixing quite a few colors together in these cups. Then we're gonna pour them all back together in one big cup. Now I know I just want a little bit of the bronze actually, because I don't want those colors to take over. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tint this with spray paint. All right, and so I'm gonna leave a little bit of material in my bucket. And as these are mixing, I'm gonna turn this upside down. And I'm gonna actually use the material that falls out of the bucket as material to grease my board before we get started. This is pearl, white, metallic. Yeah. So that was heirloom white. This is regular gloss white. And I want a little bit of a pop of a color We're gonna come in with a warm caramel. Okay, so in between the layering, we're gonna add little shots of spray paint. I like to do a clear, either a matte or a satin, it doesn't matter. I like to spray those in between because they really cause some fun reactions. There's really no rhyme or reason on which way that you add the colors. All right, so we're gonna take our cups that still have a little bit of the material in there. We'll turn them upside down. Not gonna make a real big difference, but when we start to grease the board, the surface, you'll have a little hints of color in different areas. What I'm gonna do now is grease our board. Epoxy likes to go where epoxy has been. All right, I'll heat it up a bit. Okay, so as you can see, the colors are starting to spread and the design is really starting to meld out, and it's amazing. It's the exact colors that I was wanting. Some of these colors that are in these edges we can move with our fingers. I really want to come in now and accentuate this tabletop with some really vivid colors. So we're going to mix up a little bit more material and we're going to pour another dirty pour over this dirty pour. All right, so what I want to do is I want to be real specific where I pour this because I've got some gorgeous designs that I do not want to mess up. Okay guys, I am absolutely loving this whole project. I love the table, I love the concept. The colors just were exactly what was in my mind. I wanted that real desert look. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna let this dry overnight. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna faux finish my edges just a little bit. I'm gonna be adding some glazes to really make the edges pop. And then we're gonna come over with just the ultimate top coat. There's no need to put a flood coat on this if I'm gonna go over with the ultimate top coat, because the ultimate top coat has so much durability, so that's gonna really save me a lot of product. Okay, so we're at the point in this project where I want to really bring attention to my edges. I don't have to do anything. These are great looking edges, but I want to kind of take it to the next level. I'm coming in with some acrylic glaze. I actually got this glaze from Home Depot. So I'm just gonna come in here. This is a Java, and because this is an acrylic, water-based, I can pull it off with just a towel and a little bit of water. So what I'll do now is let the glaze dry a couple of hours, then we're gonna put an ultimate top coat finish on it. So we're gonna prep this surface to get ready for the ultimate top coat, and I want to be able to create a mechanical bond, so I'm gonna very lightly scuff sand my surface. I just have 220. This is also gonna help me if I have any little imperfections. So to remove any of the dust that I created when I was sanding, I'm just gonna come over with a light spritz of alcohol.
So you can see the difference before and after.
One looks like a scared cat. So for every 1 wet roller that we prep. We'll prep 3 dry rollers just in case during the process we need to switch. We'll have them ready to go. So we have been working with the Ultimate Top Coat for a while, and we finally kind of came up with a formula so that we know just about exactly the amount of product that we need. So what we do now is we take our square footage, which in this case is 12 square feet, time 0.375. That's going to give us 4.5 total ounces that we need. Now, because it's a 2-to-1 ratio, we're going to divide that by 3. That gives us 1.5. Because it's 2-to-1, we're going to multiply the 1.5 times 2. That gives us 3. All right, and then if you take 3 minus the 4.5, you know your other part B needs to be 1.5. So when you're getting ready to mix your product, it's super important that part A is mixed very well. And what I'll do if I get a brand new bottle is I'll actually take all of the product out, I'll pour it into a cup, I'll mix it really well, and I'll put it all back in. Because what's happening is during shipment, a lot of your mattifying agents will settle in the bottom, and because your bottle is so full, it's really hard to be able to agitate it enough for all of that mattifying agent to get mixed in. Now, once you've used your bottle, now you're going to have a little bit of space. It's a lot easier to agitate your bottle. Now, as soon as you add part B, you're on the clock. You've got about 15 minutes worth of really good working time. I add 1 capful of water for every 4 ounces of mixed product. So we've got 4.5 ounces here. So I'm going to put 1 cup, 1 capful of water, and then just a tiny bit, and mix that up. Now that I have product on the top, I'm very lightly going to start pulling that product off and feathering it out. So we're using this dry roller after I already did my surface to come back and to remove the excess UTC on the side. Now you'll notice we didn't let the sides dry long enough, so I'm pulling off a little bit of that glaze, but that's okay as long as I don't take this roller and go back on the top of the surface. I really love how the UTC takes a piece that's high gloss and almost kind of a plastic look and takes it to such a natural sheen, which is exactly what we were going for on this piece. Now, the top coat will look a little milky when you first put it on there, and you may be able to see a little bit of a lap line, but that's okay. As your product dries, it'll dry clear, and those lap lines you won't be able to see. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this project. Kenny and I had a great time doing it, and we hope to bring you more content like this in 2021. So let us know. Do you like this format? Do you like having whole tutorials put together so we show one large project? Let us know in the comments below. Check out RK3Designs.com for additional pictures and also a list of the products that we used and links where you can find them. And remember guys, until next time, don't be scared, move forward, and be creative.